Hello, it's the first morning of the Festival of Media Global in Rome. My name's Alex Brownsell. I'm the editor of M&M Global, and I'm joined by the Global Chief Executive Officer of Initiative, Jim Elms. Thank you, Jim. Thank you for joining us today.
It's great to be here. Thank
How
you.
are you? How are you enjoying Rome?
So far, my first 18 hours have been wonderful. So, had a great meal last night. The festivities here look fantastic. So it looks like it's going to be a great couple of days.
Fantastic. And you're on stage later, I believe.
I am this afternoon.
Yeah. And you're going to be talking around the theme of transparency and trust in the industry, which is, let's face it, one of the biggest topics in the industry right now.
Yes, I will. Might be in the hot seat, you could say, but it's certainly a topic that needs to be explored and addressed by the industry. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. What do you think are going to be the key discussion points that come out of your session? What are the angles? What are the kind of key lines of debate in the industry? Trust, obviously, it's something that everybody needs to increase, but digital has perhaps made it even more challenging.
Yes, I think the topics will probably start with just transparency in general and some of the 4A policies on that. So how agencies can develop relationships with clients that are built around trust and hopefully overcome some of the big transparency issues. But certainly the policies on that. But I think the bigger issues for our business are around digital ad fraud, bots, everything else. So I'm hoping that we spend a lot of time on that.
Yeah. And what's your position, individually, but also, from Initiative's perspective, on some of these topics, are you trying to sort of tackle these things head on as well?
We are. On the transparency side, we are, we are one of the more transparent companies and holding company. So we certainly open ourselves to conversations around that. And we adhere to the 4A's principles pretty much down to the letter. So I don't know that we'll spend much time on that. I think, though, as far as ad fraud and bots and everything else, that is one of the bigger issues facing our business. And it's such a large and complex issue with so many different organizations and so many different agencies and clients involved. I think that's where we need to really spend a lot of our attention.
Yeah. Obviously, there's been a lot of debate around, the 4As and everything in the States, and, clients and agencies perhaps rubbing up a little bit against each other in terms of their trade bodies on key topics.
Yeah.
I guess debate is a good thing, but how sort of healthy do you think the debate is, and can we reach some consensus on some of these topics?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think on the two topics on transparency, from my perspective, that is more of a client-agency conversation to be had because there are so many different variations on what that can look like. And, in all cases, the client is going to have the final word, as they should. So I don't see a lot of debate around that topic. In terms of fraud and everything else, I think that because it is such the issue itself is so complex and there's so much money that's involved that's a little trickier for everyone to get their heads around. And there, with the different agendas of the different groups involved and everything else, it just magnifies the complexity there. But I think that is the space that, as an industry, in 2016 and beyond, we really need to start to focus and make some improvements in that area. As far as that goes, some of the standards and benchmarks, I think, are a good starting point. And as long as there's agreement from all of the parties that we do need some level of consistency and control. But I really think the bigger improvements in the space are going to be probably led by the agencies, and in a same way that companies like an Amazon and an Uber are inventing and disrupting and continuing to challenge categories and industries. I think that some of the bigger advancements will probably be made within agencies. And then, that can certainly be taken outside of the agencies and applied to the industry as a whole.
And looking at things on a broader level and talking about industries being challenged, last year must have been quite interesting. All of those endless media reviews and clients perhaps reevaluating what they were looking for from their media agency partners. How do you feel that kind of ended up playing out, and particularly for initiative, how kind of in rude health do you feel coming into this year?
Yeah, I think it was a tricky year to balance all of the activity. Initiative in particular, we were not as involved in some of those pitches as some of the other groups because we either where our sister agency was either incumbent or pitching the business, so we were precluded from that. All in all, though, where we were involved, it certainly made us a better agency. Just going through the rigor of rethinking everything that's happening in our business and needs of clients today at such a pace and scale, I think was net just great for the industry to really rethink and flex its muscles.
Yeah. And we spoke, I think, just over a year or so ago last when, we discussed some of the changes that you're making to the agency, some of the cultural changes as well. How's that all going, and is that sort of still a big project for 2016?
Yeah, it's going really well. As you know, we're very culturally based, and we're based on 4 principles around fast, brave, decisive, and simple. So a lot of the programs that we did last year, which include what we talked about, the acting classes and getting involved in music, are still moving ahead. And it's interesting because we're looking at them as a new revenue source, but the impact on the culture and the energy within our space has just been incredible. And I think that is leading to a change in our culture in that people feel more a part of something and part of the change. And it's helping us with business. For example, we picked up the Uber business about a month ago. So I think our energy and our willingness to kind of challenge the status quo is attracting clients who have that same culture and same drive, which is great for us.
And what else is kind of on the horizon for you? Anything particularly looking forward to, or areas of development that you think are going to be quite important this year?
Yeah, actually, a couple of focuses for us. One is the whole fraud issue, and we're doing a lot of things in that space to help alleviate that and help to understand how we can combat that internally. The other is we're doing a lot of work in the Internet of Things smart home space, which absolutely affects some of our existing clients, but we think is going to be a real game changer for all marketers in the next few years. Disruptive of the everything from how purchases are made to understanding new pathways for consumers to even get information on products. Everything is going to be disrupted by that.
Well, it'll be fascinating to see how that unwinds and unravels, and hopefully we'll have you on stage to talk about what you're doing in that space next year.
Yes, would love to.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your time. Anything else you're looking forward to? Are you staying in Rome for a little bit of time, or have you got to jet back straight off?
I'm going to probably head back and get back to work after this.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your time. It's great to see you, and hopefully see you soon.